Alrighty, so hey everybody, early on. I hope that you are all doing well. And then we'll speak as you all pop up and pop on, okay? Um, but we will go ahead and get started. Boy, oh boy, rain and humidity will just change your whole hairstyle before you come in. But shout out to these curls and it's natural. It's all right. That's what we do. Alrighty, so today I want to talk a little bit about, I put up a post on my feed. I think that's what it's called. I don't know, but it came up on my page, or I put it on my page. I'm sorry, my IG page, and it says something to the effect of how you have to find the positive in everything, and there is absolutely something positive in every single thing that goes on in your life, and it is really all about perspective. And the way that you gain that ability to find whatever the positive is in every single situation it is that you go through is you have to train your mind to do that. You cannot expect something to happen and just because you said this is what you want to do, thinking that this is the thing that will happen. We have to train our minds. The brain is a muscle, right? So in order for it to get stronger in a certain thing, in a certain attribute, we have to train it to do so. And that doesn't mean that it won't falter. That doesn't mean that I or you will do it perfectly or get it perfect every time. But here's what I know for sure is that it will turn out perfectly for you every time if you find the positive in every single thing it is that you go through. So I'm going to elaborate on that a little bit more, but I always like to start with taking a deep breath and making sure that I breathe into my intention and breathe out my intention. So let me do that before I go any further. Hi, my name is Sherlyn Dorsey, and I am creator and founder of You're More Than Their Mother, and I teach moms and women to reclaim, realign, and rebalance their lives and to go after their dreams. Alrighty, so in talking about that, finding the positive in everything and having to train your mind to do that. While I understand that that's something that may not come natural to most people, I know it didn't come for me. I could find the good in everything when it was good to me or when it turned out the way I wanted it to, but that made or held me hostage to a situation or a person or a thing having to be a certain way for me to be happy or for me to find the positive. I had to take my own power back by simply deciding that I was going to find something positive in every single situation it is that I encountered, whether I was a part of it directly or indirectly. I decided I was not going to relinquish it over to, I know it's this way, or he or she, or that should have been A, B, and C. So that's why I'm this way. Or that's why I reacted this way. Again, while it may not always turn out the way you want, or while you may not always do the thing it is that you know theoretically you, quote, should be doing, what this also allows you to do for yourself, and when I say this, meaning the training it is that you use to discipline your mind, what it will allow you to do is to gather yourself quickly, meaning it will help you to kind of put yourself back in check when you realize that you're out of character or that you've done something wrong. It will allow you to first forgive yourself and then, if necessary, forgive or apologize to other people more readily. It will keep your intentions a lot more pure opposed to kind of flying by the seat of your pants. Now, again, a lot of times what I hear when certain situations come up, they are huge triggers, right? And I hear, yeah, well, if this happens, all bets are off, essentially. If A happens, all bets are off. I'm not calling that good or bad. That's yours to decide on, right? I don't have a vote in there, nor do I want to vote in that. But what I would assert, or what I would suggest that you do when it comes to that, and I'm sure you've had moments like that in the past where all bets were off and you just did what you had to do. You had that knee-jerk reaction, right? You were a little bit less disciplined in your response. When that happened, ask yourself, am I okay with this outcome? Am I okay with what happened with that? And one of the joys of getting older is what I define as wisdom. And what I define wisdom as is the ability to take the lesson out of a prior situation and apply it to something or another part of your life going forward to make it better for you. And the better is always, when I'm talking about it, according to your standards, not according to what society says is better, or what your parents say is better, or your man or your woman, or nothing like that. It's all about you. And you're going to figure out in this life, really, that's who it's all about first. Everything else is an outpicturing of you. So the way that you give of yourself, the way that you share your experiences with other people, the way that you share, be it your body, your mind, your soul, whatever the case may be, it's all an outpicturing of that. And I really want you to think about that. And I think that what you'll find when you master that, or when you practice that discipline, is that you're going to find yourself in a lot better control of situations. You're also going to find yourself a lot happier, because you're going to feel better about what it is that you did, and you're going to put more thoughts and consideration into how you feel. Because really, guys, that's our first gauge. How you feel is the first indication, usually, into if you are doing what's right for you. I believe that to the core of me. It served me well. Really, as I recall, in every instance of my life, it's when I ignored that feeling that it turned out in a way that was not in congruence with what it is that I wanted, or the desired outcome. So I really want you to think about that. I really want you to understand that you don't have to relinquish your power to anyone at any time. It's never anyone's fault that you acted a certain way. At every moment, you are at choice. Even if you are not consciously choosing and you fall to something default, a habit that you have had for years or months or weeks, whatever the case may be, it is still the choice you made in that moment, consciously or unconsciously. So what I submit to you is that we make these decisions a lot more consciously, certainly in as much as we can. And the way that we can do that is by training our mind in moments that are not combative or hostile or anxious or angst around it, right? We just need to do that in our everyday things it is that we consume, be it audibly, be it visually, right? Be it literally through the touch, be it literally through the words it is that we say out to other people. We need to be very, very, very mindful of that. And of course, you know, I am always pushing for my wonderful, wonderful moms and women. And I always like to use a touch point with you all, especially because, listen, nothing gets to a mom like when you mention their children. So what I want to close this out with is saying that your children are watching you. And the things it is that you don't say, they are learning from. They're learning really better than through your words, through the clarity of your actions. Because actions are really proof of concept. Actions are really the thing it is that is the tangible thing that is proven in their mind that says, this is what it is that I need to do, or this is what I'll mimic. And they'll do that either consciously or unconsciously. But they'll duplicate your actions. So let's make sure that we are doing it for ourselves first, right? In order to live a more conscious, aligned life. Aligned meaning with what it is that you want. And what it is that you want should be in alignment with your soul's goal, right? Your soul's goal. So take the time to figure that out. That's a whole nother conversation. But take the time to figure that out. And then remember, our babies are watching. I don't care how old these babies it is that we have are, because I am getting now into the teenage and young adult years with mine. But they are still watching, because mom still has that influence. And it shows them what's possible. And who better to get that example from than a parent, than their mom, right? It's wonderful, these athletes and all these other role models that are out here that are doing amazing things, that are influencing our different generations, our generation, our children's generation. I think that's outstanding, whomever they are and wherever they find them. But what is it for them? How wonderful it is for our children to be able to look at us as that person. Not because we tell them to, not because we think they should, but simply by the way it is that we live. And there is resonance in them. And they say, that is something that I aspire to be like. That is something that I want to do. And they can simply come in our rooms and say, hey, mom, hey, dad. What a beautiful thing. So think about that. Tell me your thoughts. Give me some feedback on this video. Thank you so much for watching. I am out of here, headed back to my family. But until we meet again, remember, it's time to move beyond everyone else's expectations of who you ought to be and become the woman you thought that you could be. Bye.